What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is December 29th of 2017. Well, folks, today it's time for a daily update here on the DataDash channel, and today we have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, as always, we're going to be taking a look at market valuations as well as doing some technical analysis on the market leaders. But along with that as well, we have a lot of big headlines to talk about. First and foremost, Ripple has been on a moon trip to all-time highs, and for a short moment last night, passed Ethereum to be the second highest valued cryptocurrency. And as it's holding close by, we have to ask the question as to whether or not it can sustain this valuation and hold second place. We'll talk about that throughout the video. Along with that as well, Poloniex setting in new standards for legacy accounts in regards to KYC. We'll talk about that if you're definitely someone who uses this as an investment platform. And last but not least, we have to talk about something that was really taking over the headlines yesterday, but I want to make sure everyone has a clear picture of, and that is the South Korean FUD. A lot of people were curious as to whether or not the headlines were reigning true. Is South Korea banning Bitcoin? No, they're not, and actually it can be further from the truth. They're setting new regulations, and it's important to understand what they're setting in place for South Korea. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive into the daily update. So first and foremost, for an glimpse of markets right now, markets are taking a more positive tone as we begin to curve back up and test towards the highs in cryptocurrencies. Little to no players in the market right now are holding a downward valuation. Only a few are not keeping up with Bitcoin, so altcoins still killing it. As we take a look at market cap valuation right here, we can see, as I stated, we're curving back up, and we're really going to test towards back to $650 billion. This has been not only thanks to Bitcoin holding steady and really weighing good against all of the FUDing that's been tossed at it recently, but along with that, altcoins holding quite well. Again, we're very close towards testing the highs here, only about, I think, about $10 billion away for altcoins to test back to the highs. So again, all cryptocurrency markets, both Bitcoin and altcoins, are going to continue to kill it. I think altcoins are going to continue to outweigh Bitcoin, though, over the coming weeks, even with the room that Bitcoin can have to run up. So what's the whole situation with Bitcoin here? People are seeing this kind of sideways price action. Some would say that it's more sideways, but I got to say, I think it's leaning towards going to the upside. So first and foremost, we got the two bounces off the 50-day, very healthy for Bitcoin in the sense of price stability and price strength confirmation. But along with that as well, if we go here to the hourly, I always tell you all the next best thing you can really look at is the hourly on the chart and have your hourly moving averages, the 50, 100, and 200. And the biggest indicator you want to watch for on the hourly, in my opinion, is the 200 hour, the red line here. So as we can see here, the price action has been kind of wedging inward. The highs are getting lower and the lows are getting higher. And we're now seeing a coiling of the price action. So what are we supposed to watch here? Well, for me personally, what I'm watching in this case, and what I usually watch for in pullbacks for Bitcoin, because this usually tends to happen, is that it's cresting around the different hourly moving averages as it wedges out after a pullback. What I'm waiting for here is hopefully for the price to get above the 500-day, so I'll do a little drawing here, to get above, or sorry, not the 500-day, the 200-hour moving average, and then to find support on it, and then curve up to the upside. So the moving average would be, riding here, the price would bounce off of it, and the price would move up to all-time highs. So that's my general kind of hope. I'm waiting to see if it can get above the 200-hour as a sign of confidence and then find support to build price strength confirmation and then rally back to the upside. And hopefully from there, we can test all the way up to 20,000 over the coming days or weeks. If we do not get above the 200-hour and we get a rejection, we could see more sell-off and possibly see Bitcoin go down to the 100-day. If that's the case, more of a discount for us. I'm going to be buying in more Bitcoin, hopefully, if it touches the 100-day. But to be honest, I don't think we're going to see it, folks. And the reason that is because the sell side action has not been there. The volume has not been flushing in. It's been standard, traditional volume. We only had one real serious day where volume kicked in. So, not worried about that in that sense. I think the price is holding well, and I think we're possibly going to see more upside as much as I would like a discount. All right, so let's go ahead here and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum holding well, but not really showing too much signs of optimism here. What I think Ethereum is going to probably do is get rejected here at the 100-day, come back down to the 50, and then correct back upwards and break through and potentially test to see if it can get past the 200-day. Really, for Ethereum here, I'm not going to be making any long-term plays on Ethereum until we get above the 200-day and find clear support on it. Now, the reason that is because the 200-day acted as support for a very long time for Ethereum, almost, I think, a month and a half. in the sense of support. So because of that, it's going to act as pretty steady resistance, guys. Everyone's going to flip. It's pretty much a flipping of the indicator and stuff in the sense of, what is it? Remember, previous resistance tends to become new support. Previous support tends to become new resistance. So we got to watch out for that. Not to mention, to be fair, if Bitcoin's rallying, it's going to be hard for Ethereum to get up there. There just isn't much momentum in Ethereum right now. So keep that in mind, okay? Next up, what I know many of you probably thought I should have covered, because for a while it was in second place past Ethereum, is Ripple. So we can't avoid Ripple, guys. We got to talk about it here. This cryptocurrency has been on a monster rally compared to any of the market leaders right now. Most things are doing good. Most altcoins are killing it right now. But Ripple is really defining what it means to moon. It has gone to all-time highs in its USD valuation, and has come up to Bitcoin comparative highs for quite some time. We've come back all the way here to June levels, and that's saying something with how much Ripple has gone down comparative to Bitcoin. It had really been holding a steady USD valuation for the past few months, but finally got its breakout moment. It is now a double-digit billion-dollar currency as we come back here to CoinMarketCap. Let me just look at this, guys. This is ridiculous. It's almost at $2 per Ripple. And with the amount of the supply that's out there, that makes the market cap sitting around $71 billion. So let's take a little bit of a glimpse here real quick in the sense of valuation. Then we'll go look at the technical price analysis. Ripple has really, within the past month, less than a month actually, gone from being somewhere around a $9 billion currency. $9 billion all the way up to $71 billion. That is huge. Nothing's gaining like that in this market right now. And because of that, we have to ask the question of why this is happening and, is this justifiable? Well, markets are really what define things as whether or not they're justifiable or not, because they'll eventually correct. And it's what humans are willing to pay for a certain asset or currency in this case at a certain price. The reason why this is probably happening is a lot of the hype that's been building up in Ripple over the past week. And a lot of this can be correlated towards SBI holdings. So this is one of the big kind of, I guess what you might want to say is partnerships. Or what they claimed in the article was the announcement of the establishment of a consortium with some Japanese credit card companies. The biggest one being, though, SBI Holdings. Now, this is a company I think we actually mentioned before, because I think SBI Holdings, if I remember correctly, is the company that's going to be paying people or offering to pay people a little bit of their monthly income in Bitcoin. SBI Holdings, much like a lot of other Japanese companies, have been absolutely on board with blockchain, with innovation in cryptocurrencies. And the reason being is because I think Japan's economy wants to be a part of it. Japan is always usually on the forefront of things. They're a very big tech-based powerhouse on the global stage. And because of that, I think they want to get a piece of the action with Ripple. And I think, honestly, as much as I'm not a big fan of banks, Ripple could save banks a lot of money. So that being said, I think it's understandable how there's a lot of hype going into it. And to be fair, we can see down here, and this is what I'm going to be really emphasizing on when I talk about Ripple, is what the Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has been saying about this. One of the things we all have to remember is the value of the token over the long term is really going to be driven by its utility. There's no question there's a lot of hype in this system. So that's something to keep in mind here for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, should I get in? Do I need a FOMO, Nick? Guys, I'm going to let you all know I'm not going to be buying into this. Now, here's the thing. We've talked positively about Ripple ever since back here. No, I didn't say, oh, go buy Ripple, oh my God. But we said to watch and see if Ripple would come down to the 100-day or the 50-day down here. And it did. It found support there. It found 2 days where it bounced off there, and it curved back up. And again, this cupping price action is a very bullish pattern in regards to price strength confirmation, which is what you want to look for. And along with that, we had a bull flag over here where the price action flagged and continued higher. Again, when you see price action have a huge leap up like this and it holds the majority of its gains and has like a slight correction, that is what's known as a bull flag. And you can see after that we've gotten even more upside. To be fair, I haven't been really talking about Ripple up here and everything, but the reason is because I don't like to buy at all-time highs, guys. Nonetheless, though, for those of you who've been holding Ripple, congratulations. Good on you. If you're long-term, awesome. If you're just trading this, if it were me, again, I can't tell you all what to do. I would be locking in some profits. This has had almost a 10x in valuation comparative to Bitcoin, and that's saying something. That's a pretty big leap up. So again, nonetheless, though, I think it's a little bit of a hype phase, but nonetheless, Ripple might be a good candidate for the long term. All right, so let's go ahead here and take a look at Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash right now, looks like it's actually, speaking of flags, is flagging out a little bit on price action here. What I was hoping for was the moving averages to come up and possibly find support if we were hoping for this to have a breakout, but the volume really is not here right now. There's not much trading going on. Again, this is just Bitfinex, but there's not too much exchange volume, and you can find that across a lot of other exchanges. Now, we did just get a big bump up here over the past hour. However, it's whether or not this is going to hold, and maybe you want to watch the hourly moving averages here. That would be my next big play, is to see if this can curve along one of the hourly moving averages. But for now, we're not seeing any clear signs that this is about to break out. If we do get back up above the highs over here, around 21 million Satoshis, might be something to watch to see if it's going to curve back up to this high, which is tended to be resistance, and we might see a breakout. But I have no reason to really believe Bitcoin Cash is going to do that now. All right, so let's go ahead here, take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin still having a little bit of a pullback here. Again, seeing resistance at a level that we've talked about on the channel for a while. I know I'm not getting the full price action here, but it doesn't really matter. We've seen it tend in the past for Litecoin to see resistance at 2 million Satoshis. And again, as we're up here, I'm not too optimistic. I'm waiting for a pullback or support on the moving averages if we want to see Litecoin move higher. Not negative on Litecoin per se, just on a technical sense for now. I'm holding back on it. All right, so ADA, BTC, Cardano doing well, curving back up to all-time highs again, Bitcoin comparative-wise. And man, this thing has just been killing it, much like Litecoin and Ripple and a lot of the other market leaders. Not much TA I can do on this. I gotta say, it's a little overextended in my opinion. You're buying it at all-time highs, Bitcoin comparative-wise. And I think Cardano could see a little bit of a correction. Nonetheless, one of my favorite long-term plays. And last but not least, IOTA BTC. IOTA holding quite well above this level. I think what it's waiting for is one of these moving averages to come up before we see any crazy price action. But if you start to see a good green day right here, might be curving back up to test this previous resistance up here. Okay, so keep an eye on that. All right, outside of that, that's the price action analysis. Let's go ahead and take a look at the headlines. So, Poloniex to impose customer ID requirements. So some of you might still trade on Poloniex. The trading volume is not anywhere close to Bittrex or towards Binance, which has now become actually one of the bigger exchanges. And in fact, actually has sometimes passed Bittrex in volume. But anyways, that's besides the point. The interesting thing that you all need to keep in mind if you are users on Poloniex or maybe had old positions on Poloniex that you've just been keeping on the exchange. It is important that if you have a legacy account, meaning that you had one of the traditional accounts that did not require KYC, that you either go through the KYC process, know your customer, and fill out the information that's required by the deadline, or go about removing your funds off the exchange towards somewhere else. Now, the reason this is because Poloniex is going through the standards that most exchanges are going through, both in the U.S. and other different countries. As we've been seeing, regulation is coming back into the picture, and KYC is a standard to know who you are and make sure that the IRS or any other federal agency knows who's trading this account, and so you pay your taxes and everything like that. So it's a standard thing in the world of finance. They're going to be announcing a date for the first quarter of 2018 where they're going to actually implement this. So you've got some time, no rush. It's not happening today, but it's very important to go ahead and either make the decision to pull out funds from your account and put it into another exchange or wallet, or to go ahead with the KYC process. All right, so next up, we need to talk about South Korea. This is something that I still have many people messaging me about with absolute fear, asking, Nick, are they banning Bitcoin? South Korea is such a big part in this. Is this going to cause the bear market? No, guys. Again, there's a sense of criminality here with the amount of misleading headlines that people put out. Okay, South Korea itself is not going out and banning Bitcoin. They are proposing slightly tighter Bitcoin rules, and people are saying this is hinting at an outright ban. I don't believe there's any evidence to show that they're going for an outright ban. Let's go ahead and break down, rather than going through a lot of the articles that have been misleading, let's go ahead and take a look at a wonderful, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a Reddit post that actually has done a better job than journalists have in the cryptocurrency space. Whereas there have been headlines spamming out that Bitcoin is being banned outright in South Korea, where there is billions of dollars in trading volume now going to be vanished, BitHum is going down. It's not happening, guys. What South Korea has done is they've established a few new regulations. The biggest one in regards to banning exchanges or accounts was really in relation to banning virtual accounts. Now, this is something in South Korea that I actually in a sense, in most forms of traditional finance would really like, and it allows you to have virtual bank accounts for very short periods of time where you can remain anonymous and make all types of different anonymous either transactions or investments. And it honestly sounds like a good thing. However, people were using these virtual bank accounts on BitThumb, which allows you to have one for 3 hours where you can put any type of fiat in it and remain anonymous actually. And with that, people were actually not only abusing it because one, the government itself wants to know who's investing in cryptocurrencies. I think that's relatively fair on centralized exchanges, but the major thing that was really wrong with this was that people were laundering money from China. A lot of the both whales in China, whether they be investors or miners, were laundering money over to South Korean exchanges, and with that, using the benefit of arbitrage trading. So for those of you who don't know arbitrage trading, it's where you take, for example, let's say you buy Bitcoin off a Chinese or US exchange and the price is 14,000. Well, for the past few months, there's been a consecutive trend where BitThumb and other South Korean exchanges are paying a premium for Bitcoin. Why is it? I don't know. Maybe there's more demand there. And because of that, people have been doing arbitrage trading where they take their Bitcoin over from China. In this case, they were laundering millions, if not billions of dollars of Bitcoin from China. And this might be playing into the whole larger volume scheme of South Korea. They were transacting that money over to South Korea, and they were going through the process of creating virtual accounts to launder it through and cash out. So that was one of the big issues that South Korea is facing, and they don't want that happening because that's a very big global conflict with their neighbor China. So because of that, they've set the regulation of not allowing virtual accounts on BitThumb and other South Korean exchanges, and they've completely, to be fair, I don't know if they've actually gone through the process of completely shutting it down. However, they are working towards the fact that if this becomes an issue and people continue to abuse it, the South Korean government will enforce regulation on it. Not to mention, South Korean exchanges will comply with it, and there are a few other updates here, a few other bullet points that we need to consider. All minors are banned from investing, so people under the age of 18 cannot invest in cryptocurrencies. I kind of disagree with that, but, again, I'm more of a freedom kind of guy. Understandable, though. I mean, it's the same with stocks. All foreigners who do not live in Korea will be banned. Understandable. Virtual account creation will stop temporarily on December 29th, and they will switch to the real name system. So they are actually enforcing it on the 29th. Now, in regards to this, what does it mean for a real name system? Well, you've got to use a real name you're associated with. You have to have legal compliances and show, in a sense, almost KYC type of standards to prove who you are. They are not banning all new virtual accounts. The system will just update to link real names to the created to the created accounts. You can see Coin1 seems happy to create a healthy crypto ecosystem. They're ready to meet the standards of the South Korean government. So that's honestly, I think, for compliance reasons and for growth reasons, I think that's good. In Korea, I didn't know this was an issue. Korea is not China. I'm curious for those who do believe Korea is China if they are investors in BitConnect. I'm quite curious. Anyways, so again, this goes to show more than anything. Not only is this not as bad as people are saying it is, but again, attests towards the idea that we need to do our research past the headlines. The Verge, every other headline producing media outlet loves to eat up your fear. They love to eat up your concern because that means clicks, that means ad revenue. And that's exactly what CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, CNBC, The Verge, every single media outlet wants to do to you, and why I hate most mainstream media. They love to pry off of clicks and engagement. That's what fuels them, and they're going to push every single barrier they can to discredit their journalism in order to make extra profits. So we always have to do a little bit of a deeper research into it, guys, okay? And find trustworthy resources, okay? So anyways, that's it for the daily update, guys. Let me all know what you all think in the comments down below about South Korea. Do you think they're going to step towards an outright ban, or are they going to simply just set a few regulations and open up the floodgates to allow more cryptocurrency innovation down the road? I'd like to hear what you all think down in the comments down below, as well as Ripple and as well as Poloniex setting KYC regulations. All right? Anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.